Today we're talking about one of the great comeback stories in business. It's a story about powerful gatekeepers, a huge technological disruption that almost wiped them out, and a really clever reinvention that keeps them going to this day. Okay, let's dive into the world of the travel agent.
I mean, think about it for a second. Before you could just whip out your phone and book a flight, how do people do it? It's a simple question, but it really gets to the heart of why this industry even existed. For most of history, travel was complicated, it was confusing, and you absolutely needed a guide.
And for a very long time, those guides, those experts, they were the travel agents. Before the internet, they were the essential link between you and, well, the rest of the world. They literally held the keys to the kingdom of travel.
And this whole idea, it's not new, not at all. For centuries, you had middlemen helping merchants get their goods to market, helping pilgrims find their way to holy sites. They were the original tour operators, piecing together all the complicated logistics of just getting from point A to point B.
The modern industry really started taking shape back in the 18th and 19th centuries. You had pioneers like Cox and Kings way back in 1758. But the real game changer, a guy named Thomas Cook. In 1841, he organized a train trip for 570 people, buying tickets in bulk and reselling them. Just 4 years after that, he opened the world's first travel agency, and bam, he pretty much earns himself the title father of the travel agency business. So what is a travel agency really? At its core, it's a retail business. But here's the key difference. They don't have stock on a shelf. The key word is agent. They're acting on behalf of the suppliers, the airlines, the hotels, the cruise lines, and they're selling those services to us, the public.
And man, for decades, this was a great business to be in, incredibly profitable. And it was all thanks to this simple, elegant system that created what you could really call the golden age of the travel agent.
The business model couldn't have been more straightforward. You walk into an agency, say, I want to go to Paris. The agent does all the legwork, books the flight, the hotel, everything. You pay the price on the ticket, and then behind the scenes, the airline or the hotel pays the agent a cut of that sale. It was a perfect system.
And here it is, the magic number, 10%. For decades, that was the standard commission that airlines paid out. Think about that, a steady, reliable 10% on every single ticket sold. That's what allowed all those agencies to pop up on Main Street and thrive for so long.
But, like all golden ages, it had to end. And boy, did it end fast. It was like two massive forces came out of nowhere at the same time, and they threatened to make travel agents completely, totally obsolete. It really was the perfect storm. It starts in 1995. The airlines, their biggest partners, they start chipping away at those commissions. Then, at the exact same time, the internet explodes, giving those same airlines a powerful new way to sell tickets directly to you and me. The final nail in the coffin? 2002. The major U.S. airlines just dropped their base commission to zero. The old model was officially dead.
In this quote right here, it just perfectly sums up the new reality. The airlines weren't just partners anymore, they were competitors. They were actively trying to get rid of the middleman and build a direct relationship with the passenger.
So you can see the pivot right here. It was a massive, fundamental shift. The money wasn't coming from the airlines and hotels anymore. It had to come from the customer, in the form of service fees. And the main way to sell travel? It wasn't the friendly face in a local shop anymore. It was a website.
So, a lot of people thought, well, that's it. It's over. But the industry didn't just roll over and die. No way. It adapted. It had to reinvent itself for a new world where literally anyone could book a flight from their couch.
So, how'd they pull it off? Well, they developed a whole new playbook. First, the obvious one, charge service fees. That replaced the lost income. But the smart move? They specialized. They stopped trying to compete on simple flights and started focusing on complex, high-value trips, the things you can't easily book yourself. They doubled down on cruises, package tours, and all sorts of niche markets. And of course, many built huge online presences, becoming the OTAs, the online travel agencies that we all know today.
And you can see right here in the numbers how well that specialization worked. I mean, look at this. Even today, agents handle a massive 77% of all cruise bookings, 73% of package travel. That tells you that when a trip gets complicated, people still want an expert.
And the industry that came out of all this disruption looks a little different depending on where you are. In the UK, for example, you've got these big national chains called multiples, smaller ones called minipools, and local independents. Over in the US, it's a similar mix. You've got the huge guys like American Express, but also tons of regional and smaller, highly specialized agencies.
Okay, so this all brings us to today. And the role of a travel agent now? Well, it's been completely transformed. It's just a different job.
At the end of the day, a travel agent today isn't a simple booking clerk. They're a consultant, an expert, a curator. Their value isn't in processing a transaction you could do yourself. It's in their deep knowledge, their ability to save you from hours of frustrating research, and their skill in crafting a truly unique experience.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? As technology and AI get even better at handling all the simple logistics, could it be that this deep, curated human expertise becomes the one thing you can't get from an algorithm? Maybe that becomes the ultimate luxury in travel. Definitely something to think about.